Just what is it that Big Ten coaches expect from Michigan? Well, we got some answers, anonymous answers. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. What do you think Michigan is capable of in 2025? Is it a playoff run, perhaps? I'm also going to take this opportunity to remind you we got an Apple podcast and a Spotify podcast. It means we got an audio podcast. And for those of you that are kind enough to go to Spotify and go to Apple and leave us a 5-star review, I am willing to send you one of these stickers in the mail along with a personal thank you note from me because it means that much to me. We're fast approaching 400 ratings on Apple. It'd be really very cool to get there before the end of the month. And Spotify, we're this close to 100 reviews. And this show's not even like 30 days old in an audio format. Comes out 3 days a week, it's about 30, 40 minutes. If you like a longer show, that's where you should go. Do this solid for me so I can hit you with this sticker. Just fill out the form in the description below with an address where I can send it. So what do we expect from Michigan in 2025? Given what they showed in 2024, more the same, but perhaps with better quarterback play, to say nothing of what we're going to find out when we find out the NCAA has decided to punish Michigan with for what amounts to, electronic cheating, we think, right? So that aside, what did Big Ten coaches have to say? And I thought some of these answers were really insightful, like this one. It's tempting to look at these rosters after the national title and define them by what they lose to the draft every year. But we don't do that with Kirby Smart or Nick Saban or those programs. Michigan is an elite level recruiting program. So yeah, they lost a Mason Graham, but they're ready to plug in and play the next guy. It's not plug and play, but it's close. And I'm going, wait a second, it's not plug and play, but they're ready to plug in the next guy. It's not plug and play, but it's close. Okay, first half of this one, real good, right? We do not compare, Alabama during the Nick Saban era and certainly Kirby Smart to the Nick Saban era to what they lose. We just expect it to be good. One of my favorite things about the Georgia defense is most people can't tell you who plays on it, but they can tell you it's very good because that's Kirby Smart. That's Kirby Smart's identity. Nick Saban, we didn't do that as much because we knew a little bit more about his stars, but because of the way the machine works at Georgia and the way that Kirby Smart runs it, you can always expect they're going to be deep at linebacker. They're going to be deep at defensive line. They're going to have some safeties that can go get the ball in the air. It's just what they do. It's just what he does. He is one of the best coaches in the sport, and he's fast becoming one of the best coaches to ever be head coach in the sport. For instance, going back-to-back in 2021, 2022, when it's never been more difficult to win the national championship, right? We play more games. We play a playoff system. We have more money to throw at it, and we have better athletes, right? I think for Michigan, though, it's more like, okay, Wink Martindale gets to be that Kirby Smart. Is it plug and play for him? Does it matter that we don't know some of the guys that are going to show up for them, right? Like, I can't really evaluate a Rod Moore because of last year, didn't get to see much. Will Johnson was great when he played, right? What else you got over there? How much better do you expect to be? And I think we're going to get that answer, but that defense was good last year. That defense won them football games. That's not the issue. The issue is on the offensive side of the ball. This is where another quote that we're going to point to a little bit later on kind of speaks to, but this one I thought was good too. They would have been a serious postseason contender last year if they had a quarterback on the roster. Now, do they? No, excuse me, now they do. So it's all about how fast Chip Lindsey can get him up to speed and going. Yeah and no, right? Because Chip Lindsey had Drake May at North Carolina famously. Drake May is phenomenal talent, but if you compare to one-to-one with Bryce Underwood, yeah, you can get there quick, fast, in a hurry. The difference is he had receivers to throw the ball to, and he had Omarion Hampton to run it. It's not exactly the same at Michigan. For instance, we don't know if there's going to be a great receiver at Michigan this year. Like last year, Colston Loveland was the best receiver on the team. He had 56 catches for, about 600 yards. You don't have a returner on this team with more than 260 yards receiving. You're going to have to develop a star receiver for this star quarterback. And you're going to have to trust Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall to be better than what you showed last year. And Khalil Mullins was not terrible, but Donovan Edwards was. You need both of those guys to play for you. I think for Lindsey, it's maturing Bryce Underwood. Yes. Are you going to mature him in time for them to beat Oklahoma? Probably not. Are you going to mature him in time to beat Ohio State? It's possible. You also got the psychological advantage here because every year for the last 4 years, we've been saying Ohio State should beat Michigan like a drum, and Michigan goes, still ain't happened, dog. And that's one of the reasons we talk about them being a playoff contender, because if you can beat the national champs, you ought to be playing in a playoff. And they did this, again, without really anything at all at quarterback. Now, they get Davis Warren back, and so you got that veteran, and he probably gets the next call up when he's healthy behind, Bryce Underwood, and then Mikey Keene, and then we'll see. Jake Garcia, maybe, right? But for now, it's the Bryce Underwood show, which is the next quote in which I was alluding to. The focus is on Bryce Underwood, but it should be on finding new backs to go with him. Amen, right? I think you got Justice Haynes, though. I think that part is solved. I think Jordan Marshall showed me enough against Bama to trust him. That offensive line is Sherrone Moore's offensive line. I mean, he got an offensive line coach, but he's an offensive line coach himself. And he was calling plays before this. He knows what he wants. He knows how he wants to do it. Their identity isn't going to change, and that's kind of where it is. The last quote that we're going to reference here, they're not going to change that Jim Harbaugh identity all that much. And the ground game is how they define themselves. It is. They want to run the football. They want to play power football. They want to control the clock. They want a low-scoring game. They don't need a quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. They probably don't want one to throw for 4,000 yards. 3,000 yards would be a lot at Michigan because you want to have a 3,000-yard rushing attack. That's what you want. You want an offense that is built around we hammer people. And it's come the middle of the third quarter, they're tired of us, and we're just going to keep coming downhill. You also are able to give your defense an opportunity to rest, to go be efficient and bright when they get out there, especially in the later halves of the game when they seem to just sit on people's chest. Michigan is the closest thing identity-wise that we see to Georgia, right? Georgia's not had a 1,000-yard receiver in their history, which is still a wild fact to me, right? Just given what they've had, A.J. Green, George Pickens, and keep going down the list. But that's not who they are. Who they are is we run the ball, we eat the clock, we play outstanding defense. This is how we win championships. You can do it the way that Ohio State has, which is be balanced and be able to attack people at all sides in everything you do. Blitz them and or play zone, right? You can go from cover 6 to fire zone. You can go to all-out blitz. You can go running the football for 200 yards. You can go throwing the football for 500. But at Michigan and Georgia, they decided, no, we're going to do it this one way. This is the way that works best for us. This is the way that we want to do it. And I don't begrudge them that because it works, right? When it comes time to play big teams and big games, that formula is the one that gets you. Can you run the ball late? Can you hold on to a lead? When you put the ball in the air, Barry Switzer used to say famously, hey, only 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. It's true, right? That's the formula that Michigan has used to break through and win championships. And as quiet as it is kept, yeah, they get a quarterback that can complete more passes or do more of that one thing that wins and not less of those 2 things that don't. They're going to be tough. So are they going to make the playoff? I don't know about that. Are they going to be in shape to make the playoff come November? Yeah. It's just how are they going to get through the first 8 weeks of the season? What's the record going to look like?